Hi everyone and welcome to the brand new Smackdown Live pre-show podcast here on WhatCulture.com. My name is Kenny McIntosh and I've brought in the two titans of WhatCulture, James Dixon, the curmudgeonly writer, and the fake king, Ross. Hello lads.
Hi Kenny.
Why do you pretend to be my friend off camera and then come out with that sort of bollocks on camera?
Here's the thing, right? This is not going to be like your Raw pre-show podcast because this will not have Bret Hart with AIDS, this will not have a man in no jumper, and this will not have a man who looks like he'd be more interested in a supermarket. This is going to be the Smackdown Live pre-show podcast. Wow. This is where it's at. Competition begins here. We are fighting to become the better brand.
We're actually battling on the ratings, unlike what Vince McMahon lied to us about.
Our jobs are on the line with these ratings.
We won't last long. Who can fight the Adams?
Well, yeah, who can fight the Adams?
Me, I'm the most popular guy on the site.
King Ross, followed by
Kenny McIntosh.
I was going to say followed by Blazing Squad on Twitter, but you know.
Oh no, all right, I thought you were going pecking order of the long intro of this, isn't it?
It is.
Right.
So we're going to talk about SmackDown every week. We're going to talk about what happened the previous week, this week, because it's obviously the first one, and then we're going to talk about what's coming up this week. So the first thing I wanted to talk to you guys about last week on SmackDown, specifically you, James Dixon, because you, I don't know if the lovely fans here at WhatCulture know this, but you share my love of Total Divas, the television show.
I'm glad we've publicly outed that fact. Yeah, thank you. And Total Bellas.
And Total Bellas. Now, Adam Pacitti hates the show. What is your defence of that show?
What's to hate? It's better than Raw. It's better than SmackDown. You tell... Okay. Total Divas has great storylines.
Consistent storylines.
Consistent storylines that have payoffs.
Yep.
And yes, it's fake, but all reality TV's fake. And Ross, you sat there smiling, or stood there smiling.
I'm just thinking.
But I know you enjoy it too.
The moral of the story is never to judge a book by its cover, is it?
True. That's a very good analogy.
We'll live and learn here on the SmackDown pre-show thing.
It's no faker than, sorry everybody, wrestling. You know,
it's no faker than Raw or SmackDown.
Absolutely. And it's written much better.
Yeah, it would get the best writing award of the year for the last 5 years.
And John Cena on that show.
What a heel!
Oh, unbelievable! Anyone who dislikes John Cena, watch Total Bellas.
I'm glad Josie bit him right in his big fat leg.
What was his response? Tell the world who don't watch Total
Bellas. He wanted like animal control to come and get the dog.
Daniel Bryan
Breed
little Josie.
Little Josie.
The bulldog thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
The French bulldog.
Bit him on the leg and he was like, "Get it out." Call animal control, get it taken away.
So bringing it back to SmackDown.
We have to. Can't this be the
reason,
Total Divas Bellas podcast?
That's on Extra coming soon. It's not. I wish it was. But no, on SmackDown last week they did a segment which I'm quite curious to get your take on, because you've written books about wrestling. You've written books about successful storylines.
Right.
So,
go on.
The storyline.
I'm worried about where this is going.
The storyline so far is that Carmella was annoyed because Nikki Bella returned at SummerSlam, stole her thunder, so she's out to make a name for herself on a veteran like Nikki Bella.
Veteran.
So they do this segment this past week where...
Hey, 8 years. Give the woman her due.
Sorry.
Her due.
8 years is not a veteran, man.
Her due.
Her due.
Her due. I got called on that
duties?
a video before. Her due.
So Carmella comes out, she cuts a promo on Nikki Bella. Nikki comes out, and then she shows this video package on Nikki Bella, which essentially shows Nikki as an entitled, spoiled, gold-digging brat.
Which is a gimmick.
Right?
Is it though?
Well, I know, like.
But Carmella's the heel and Nikki's the babyface.
Yes.
So Carmella does this video, which outs Nikki as the heel, essentially. And then Nikki's response is to talk about the haters on social media, as she's dressed in a sort of objectifying outfit, rather than dressed like a wrestler.
She's the antithesis of this new women's wrestling movement.
But talk about this program in particular.
Well, it's nonsense, isn't it? I mean, what do you want me to say? It's stupid. Ross is the one you should ask about this. Reason being, it's very similar to the Rusev and Roman Reigns situation on Raw, where you're adamant that Rusev is the babyface.
I'm not alone, am I, Kenny? I'm not alone.
No, listen, Roman Reigns ruined Rusev's wife's party. But we're not here to talk about Raw.
No, we're not.
But
it is an apt comparison, I think.
Nikki and Carmella, what do you think of the story?
Casting the wrong rules, aren't they? Nikki, everyone hates Nikki because she's got everything. Carmella's the upstart here. She's up and coming.
She's Kim Kardashian.
She's coming from below.
Nikki.
Coming from under. She's doing something from below.
What did you think about her shockingly outing on SmackDown? That Nikki Bella is the girlfriend of John Cena.
Nobody gives a damn on SmackDown, do they? They just shoot from the hip like there's no tomorrow.
Do you know what that reminded me of? It was like when Pat Patterson on Legends House said, "Do you know what, guys? I'm gay," and the whole media, the world went, "Really?" As if had been some sort of secret for the last 20
I remember
years.
in Power Slam in like 1999, there was they used to do a did you know bit at the bottom, and they give you these cryptic things. It was like, a former WWF Tag Team Champion is openly gay. No clue. I thought it was one of the Dudleys, but it was Pat Patterson. Anyway, so
I mean, don't you think it's this whole storyline is sort of, it's becoming commonplace, this kind of misalignment of characters.
Yeah, it's weird, but something that I think Carmella deserves a little bit of credit for. I mean, I don't think she's that good in the ring at all, but I think she's done a pretty decent job as a heel trying to get this story over. I think it's Nikki Bella that's maybe not pulling her weight as a character.
I mean, how many times have you seen Nikki Bella, the heel, act like Nikki Bella, the babyface, and vice versa? When she was Divas Champion, she changed allegiances every other week.
She did.
Depending on who she was feuding with at the time, with never an explanation. And it's part of it's her fault for not knowing how to play a character properly. Part of it's the booking for just not caring enough to give her a reason for being good or being bad. So, you know, I mean, who cares? Why are we talking about this storyline of all things?
Well, it was one of the things that happened on SmackDown last week.
It's one of the main storylines going at the minute, isn't it?
Exactly, but doesn't that lead to a greater question? Why is that one of the biggest storylines going at the moment?
Because Rebecca Lynch is dealing with an injury.
Well, she's back now.
She's back tonight on SmackDown Live. And then next week on SmackDown Live from Glasgow, Scotland,
big match.
Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss. But what do you think of Baron Corbin? Baron Corbin, talking smack last week, he cut this promo where he shot from the hip as well. What did you think of him? And well, James Dixon has left the podcast. It's SmackDown.
Where you going?
You got to accept I'm going to bring up people from
Get
SmackDown.
back on here.
Sorry, look, Baron Corbin, please.
I'm asking Ross.
I know, but I have to listen to it.
We're going to come to you in a minute.
Indie bashing Baron is good.
Just the
Six,
name
good
Baron Corbin gives me an aneurysm.
Hairline, fantastic because it winds everybody up. He's a heel without even doing anything. He's fantastic. Not fantastic. He's all right.
He cut a good promo on Talking Smack.
He does cut good promos.
It's just the in-ring stuff.
All right promos for the modern day stand.
Terrible.
That's the point.
He looks good with the beanie hat on.
He looks like a popped balloon.
I mean, his stomach is an issue.
Did you see me intro last week?
I saw your intro.
Funny, wasn't it?
I was trying to eat when I watched that. It's not that funny, really, because I was enjoying that meal, which then I had to go in the bin. So, no.
So the purpose of today is for us to try and talk about some of the SmackDown characters and where we sit on them before we launch into talking about SmackDown every week. So obviously you've already walked off at the mere mention of one person.
Should be launched out of a cannon into the sea.
So what I dread to even... I'm going to ask you about this second, so give Ross a chance first to talk about it.
Fine, sorry.
Ross, the Wyatts have gone through a lot of troubles the last few months. There was the thing at WrestleMania where The Rock basically bitched them out.
Where they should have just lampooned The Rock.
Exactly. But now the Wyatts are entering they're in a program on SmackDown with Randy Orton and Kane, and they're kind of entering, I guess last week, Undertaker territory, caskets, and...
If there's one gimmick you don't try and copy, it's The Undertaker. He was there with sheep druids in a coffin.
He was.
He couldn't have been more Undertaker if he tried. But he's
What's the problem with Bray Wyatt? Why is he not connected?
His promos mean absolutely nothing because nobody understands what they mean. They're so cryptic. And just his gimmick as a whole has no weight behind it anymore because he's a cult leader that can't gather followers. He's gathered gathered one in 4 years. He's got Braun Strowman on board in that time.
Maybe he'll have our good friend Big Damo soon. Ooh. Don't you think he'd fit pretty well?
Yeah, he's got a lovely beard.
Have we become a fantasy booking podcast now?
No, we're just hypothetical.
I can do it better.
You know? There you go.
So we've got someone else
that gets over on this channel, right?
I can only imagine the comments on YouTube right now. Where are the Adams? Where are they?
Why are we done talking about Baron Corbin?
Okay, Baron Corbin.
He's going to feud with Cena.
Yep.
He really is. And I think they'll put him over Cena.
Here's the thing. I actually think that, all joking aside, I thought his promo on Talking Smack was very good because he talked about, I'm not here to make friends, I'm here to make money. The thing he said to Daniel Bryan about, it took you 10 years to get here, 5 years in your career, and I got here in 3 years with one phone call.
It is.
But to your point, the match quality is an issue because we're in an era now where you and I grew up on match quality not...
He'd have been fine 25 years ago.
Yeah, but now
if
it's problematic.
I mean, he'd have had to.
Deep Six, good move. Love watching that move. End of Days, good move. Love watching that move. Even though it is a bit confusing.
Wrestling's not just about the moves, is it? You know? It's about
but sometimes
his pacing's shoddy,
who
his
have you been watching him against
average.
is the question.
Does it matter?
Yeah.
Now,
It takes two to tango.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I feel that you should know this at this stage in the podcast. One of the men at either side of me, I'm not going to say who because I don't want to out that person, one of the people standing beside me used to be a professional wrestler. So sometimes you will hear things about wrestling that on the surface you're like, well, what the does this guy know?
Yeah, Ross.
But that person did in fact compete at one point. What can Baron Corbin do then for you, just to close this part off, what can he do for you, seriously, to get you more on board with him as a character?
He needs to be given a long house show run with good workers. Like when John Cena first came on the scene in 2002, the first guys he worked with were Kurt Angle, Undertaker, Chris Benoit, and Lord Voldemort, and a couple of others, real good workers who could help him learn in the ring, learn on the job. And Baron Corbin needs that because in NXT, as good as NXT is, as far as getting guys ready, they
did
don't
you see
wrestle
him at the
enough
start in
matches.
NXT? Where he was having 3-second matches.
Right, sure.
The guy's come a long way. He's still on the up, isn't he?
He's the thing with NXT.
Baron Corbin, he left NXT
They wrestle like 70 matches a year, which is nowhere near enough. When you're first starting out, you need to be wrestling every day. If you were over here in the UK, you'd be wrestling on camp shows every day, 2 times a day.
He doesn't mean like camp shows. He means like
well, they are kind of camp shows like that as well, but holiday camps. But that's how you learn by wrestling and wrestling and wrestling.
For me though, like to the promo and Talking Smack, the fact that he's able to cut promos like that says to me there's hope, because you can teach wrestling more, I would say, than you can teach the charisma of a promo.
Do you think he has charisma?
I think he does. I think he's got
he's
charisma.
Very good at being obnoxious.
He is. But is that charisma, or is he just good at being a dick?
Here's the
just
compliment.
He's a dick in real life.
The compliment to him is that he's not one of those like wrestling heels where fans on the internet go,
oh no,
he's a great
he's
heel.
He's a good heel.
He's a heel.
I will give him that. He's a good heel.
And you know what?
I just don't like watching him work.
Him and Cena. I don't know if I'd be quite up to
Cena might help him.
Yeah, I think
if
Cena
anyone can help him along, it's Cena.
Certainly,
but he may well be
Dean
the
Ambrose.
next.
Can you imagine that again?
Huh?
Yeah.
Dean Ambrose and Baron Corbin.
He might be the next
Can we talk about Dean Ambrose?
We're going to get there in 1 second, but I do just want to quickly pick up on Bray Wyatt. Do you think, for me, one of the things with Bray Wyatt, the thing that we used to say is, well, he never wins. He never wins the big matches. And he's won the last couple of weeks, but it doesn't really even seem to matter that he's won. That he's beat that he's beat Randy Orton twice. It doesn't really seem to matter. And now tonight, going into Smackdown, there's going to be a match with Kane and Bray Wyatt in a no disqualification match. And even if he beats Kane, I don't really know.
He's got to
see
beat
that.
Kane.
No, was it No Mercy? We saw that.
Yeah, when Randy was out.
Yeah.
Yep, and Kane beat him.
Yeah, I mean that was interesting.
What can they do to salvage Bray Wyatt? Because regardless of anything else, he is a very popular character. The thing he did with Roman Reigns when he teamed with him earlier on this year was tremendous. Yeah. When he faced off with Triple H in the Royal Rumble, people went crazy. Is it as simple as he needs to be a babyface?
I mean, I think we all thought he was going to turn babyface after WrestleMania. I think that Rock angle that we all loved so much, I think that was supposed to be the end of the Wyatts and Bray going babyface, but it never really happened. He's kind of ambiguous at the moment. I don't think he really is a heel, personally. In the way he acts, because he does elicit fan response.
It means nothing. It's just words, isn't it? It's just empty words that sound nice when put together.
That's why his promos.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But I like Bray. I like the gimmick. I think it is a babyface gimmick now in this climate. I think, again, 25 years ago he would have been a heel, no doubt. But now he just needs to win.
He should just be
have him go over big stars. That's all you can do.
The other problem is that, like you were saying about his promos, is that it seems like he cuts promos like. Say in February, he'll cut a promo where they'll say to him, our plan is for you to do this in August. And he's like, okay, I'll do a promo and I'll cryptically mention that now. And then it gets changed, then you go, well, that doesn't make any sense. It's not followed through.
Yeah, he's not helped by that. I mean, 50-50 bookings really hurt Bray.
Yeah.
He really has. Because there was times when they were building him for Undertaker a couple of years back, he was winning all the time, he did well in the Rumble, he was getting really over, and you never really thought he'd beat Undertaker, but you could accept him working with him.
Yeah.
And whereas now he's lost so many times, as you said, especially in the big matches, that nobody takes him seriously as a main event guy. He's the guy just underneath who you beat to get to the main event, and He needs to beat top guys consistently.
He needs a title reign. Not had one yet, has he? 4
For,
years.
Yeah, possibly. And you know what else they need to do? They need to keep him off TV. Not
He needs to
every
be a
week.
special attraction.
He needs to be like Undertaker was.
Well, I used to like the idea that his family fought for him, and he only fights
So
in a
him
big
wrestling
match.
was
Cage.
special, yeah.
Yeah. Now, speaking of SmackDown Live, the big talking point of SmackDown Live the last few weeks is something that I feel like if anybody was going to enjoy this, it is the king of WhatCulture, Ross on wrestling. James Ellsworth.
It's gone on too long, hasn't it? It's just I just think it's a bit cruel, isn't it? Just. I was on
Putting the guy on with the champion and putting him over.
No, you felt that we were laughing with him before they were laughing at him.
Yes, that T-shirt completely flip reversed.
It's
my
selling
opinion.
well though.
So selling Goldberg.
Yeah, but look at his funny head. We're saying here.
So?
Don't be a bully. Be a star.
True, but at the same time, what an opportunity for the guy.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
No,
he probably gone further than he ever would have dreamed of.
Can we just take a moment to... Now, I am not ever on this podcast, I don't think, apart from this one moment, ever going to defend David Otunga on a commentary team. but
he's cool.
No chin music. One of the best.
I wouldn't give him the credit.
I know,
for that.
someone wrote that.
Someone fed him that line.
But
Come
still, he gets the credit because he was the face of it. Yeah, I mean, I think that last week was tremendous. The way they built that main event, the way that
people bought he was going to win.
When he did that
super kick was fantastic.
People believed it. Like if you can get them to believe, I mean, credit to AJ as well. But if you can get them to believe that a jobber like James Ellsworth is going to beat AJ Styles for the title, and people did, then they're doing something right. If only they could book the real stars in the same way.
So James Ellsworth, we kind of all agreed the joke's kind of done now.
No,
so you just
I
keep
don't
going.
think so. No.
So where would you see it go next then?
Ring it for every drop left because it is a short-term thing.
But couldn't you just put him down the card now? Like he's had the main.
Yeah, he doesn't need to be at the top anymore. But now put somebody over him. Who
Baron Corbin?
Not Baron Corbin. Who isn't Baron Corbin?
It's funny.
There's something you could do with him there.
The other guy that we could talk about here is AJ Styles. Now, I spoke to Kevin Owens recently, and one of the things that he was asked.
Sorry, I'll just
pick up that name there.
There's a name you dropped.
And one of the other people in that particular conference call had asked Owens about AJ Styles, and he brought up a point which I hadn't thought about. And the question was, how do you compare your Universal title reign to AJ Styles' WWE World title reign? And Kevin Owens said, well, put it this way, I'm going into Hell in a Cell and Chris Jericho's my best friend and AJ Styles has been beaten twice by James Ellsworth. I think I'm doing okay. Are the losses to Ellsworth losses, are they hurting AJ Styles?
Absolutely not, because it was Dean Ambrose both times, wasn't it? Kevin Owens, on the other hand, has become a sideshow to Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
And the Women's Championship. That's getting more attention on Raw than his belt is.
So with AJ Styles tonight, he's going to face Dean Ambrose on SmackDown Live.
And hopefully beat the piss out of him.
But if Dean Ambrose wins, then he gets the title shot.
Then we're in trouble with AJ. Then we're in trouble. Because Dean Ambrose is an annoying prick. And that was outed last week on the show. He ruined that main event, I thought.
Do you think so? I enjoyed it. I thought he was good.
Obviously, he played his part in the finish and whatnot. But the whole, there's a car parked on the double yellow lines. Go away. Just
Zany Dean Ambrose is the worst.
It's not funny.
But do you think I feel like he's been better, not great, but better the last kind of month or so.
Because he's been a heel, he's been a tweener, hasn't he? He's been But
again,
now he's
back
blurred
again.
Yeah, now he's back the other way.
Compare him to when the Shield first came in. He was great. His promos were superb.
Mm-hmm.
You could listen to him talk all day, and you believed him.
Yep.
You believed he was a heel. Now, I know he's not really a heel now, but now his promos, he just comes across as Wacky Dean. What zany antic of the week's he going to do now?
In the build up that triple threat, he was another one shooting from the old hip, wasn't he?
Yeah, that was better. And the build up to the match.
But now he's back. Now he's back to being. Let's get some mustard.
Can you make that a weekly thing where you shoot from the hip? It's a particular favourite.
The Dolph match though, they built that up pretty well.
Yeah, no, they did. Here's the thing, SmackDown.
He's hot and cold. It depends with Dean. It depends on how he's booked. How he's scripted. It's the scripting that's.
It's aimless though. It's like we'll just make him a babyface this week, and then next week we'll
clue what they're doing.
SmackDown's a magical place, ladies and gentlemen, because SmackDown is the place where the Miz is rejuvenated to the point where I think the Miz should get a WWE title reign at some point. I think he's that good.
He will.
Dolph Ziggler is mildly relevant again. Baron Corbin's cutting good promos.
I'm pulling faces about Dolph Ziggler, but
I know you are,
Yeah.
but they're
I don't
they're
care
ignoring
about,
you.
I still don't care about Dolph.
But here's what we're going to do now. We've got about 10 minutes left here on the Smackdown Live pre-show podcast. So what we're going to do, we have a bunch of questions that you guys have sent in on Twitter. So I'm just going to bash them to each of these people. So Ross will get one, Dixon will get one, and we'll move back and forth. So Ross, I'm going to go to you first.
it's right here in theory, but it never works that way.
Roll Up Wrestling says, who would you pick for... Well, we're not going to go to all three, but who would you pick as the 5 male wrestlers for the Survivor Series team for SmackDown?
Is this match taking the place of championship matches
Yes.
or not? Yes.
Yes.
Well, you got Styles, Ambrose, Ziggler, Miz.
Cena.
Maybe not Cena?
Is he round?
Assuming
Does he
is.
fancy it? Has he got some award ceremony?
He's got something to shoot, I'm sure.
It's him or Corbin.
that's
him or Corbin, isn't it?
No, it's not him or Corbin. Don't put Cena and Corbin in the same equation.
Stoppers?
I'll jump over that side of the table.
Jacob May, though, we have covered it already. He was talking about with the rumours of Corbin getting a huge push. Who would you like to see him face next? Would Cena be better for him, do you think? Haven't thought about it.
I mean, Cena's the best opponent to get the best out of Baron, I would say.
Do you want to just check your phone again?
Yeah, sorry.
You got anything else to do?
I'm in the process of buying a flat, Kenneth.
Oh,
Well, it'll still be there in 6 minutes.
Castle.
I've got several.
I see.
Matthew okay.
Just to be clear, I wouldn't like to see that match, but I think that is the best one for Baron. Yeah.
Matthew Richards, who apparently was born in 1998, which makes me feel like 100 years old, he says, should they give the SmackDown Women's title to Eva Marie?
I'm worried about Eva.
In what sense?
They've given it, as I said on last week's WTF moments, it's as if when she was suspended, she had a penis installed, a ginger beard, and her hair dyed orange, because Kurt Hawkins is just stealing everything she was good at, which didn't really involve her, but they're talking over the entrance and they're bottling every match. That is her shtick being given to somebody else, and I'm worried about her future.
You don't think she's okay given the fact that she's currently filming a movie with Nicolas Cage?
No.
She will get that belt, is the answer. She will get that belt.
But she needs to go all the way through WrestleMania not having a match.
The Bayley Eva Marie match from NXT was superb. If they can recreate that with Becky Lynch, it could be money.
I might have forgot about that film, by the way. Maybe.
Callum wants to know, Mr. Dixon, do you think AJ Styles is going to be continued to be booked as the top dog on SmackDown?
He's done so well. You know,
Title picture WrestleMania?
I would say so. I mean, we haven't talked about the elephant in the room that is this proposed match that he's been begging for with Shawn Michaels at the Royal Rumble. If that was to happen, I don't think it will.
No.
But if that was to happen, I mean, yeah.
Why not?
What do you mean, why not?
Why wouldn't it happen? He's in great shape, Sean.
Absolutely, but he's also adamant that match with Taker was his last one. And they've tried before, they've asked him before, and he always says no.
It'll be interesting, we'll see what happens.
But yeah, AJ will be top dog for a while now. Vince is obviously a fan.
Okay, Ross, Alex wants to know, do you think Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks will ever come to the WWE?
I don't know a lot about them, to be honest, but I have read that Kenny Omega is very happy in Japan. He's got a Japanese bird. I should say that. Un-PC of me. He's got a Japanese partner. But it would take a lot to get him to come over.
After one episode.
I love that you just have such useless information. He's got a Japanese girlfriend.
No,
so
apparently this is what has stopped him before.
Can she not move with him?
I don't know.
Can she not fly?
She obviously wears the trousers in that relationship.
Does she?
Maybe. I might have read that. I don't know.
Good.
I might have just made that up. I have heard, though, he's very settled in Japan, which is what is stopping him from coming over.
He's such a star in Japan, I don't see why he'd want to come.
Young Bucks?
Maybe one day. I think you're talking like Roderick Strong, Austin Aries kind of situation where
that full
towards the end,
unbearable on that day, won't it?
God,
it might be 10 years down the line, you know.
Even still, they'll be unbearable then, won't they?
I can imagine you sitting in Full Sail with the crown and cape on, amongst all these other people, and you just sitting there the whole time.
Sad lives to lead there. Sad lives to lead.
Pay your bills, pal.
So,
mate, you pay your bills with a cape
lifelong,
and crown.
lifelong channel heel.
The Catch Do, or the Catch Do, I don't know how you pronounce it, or the Executioner on Twitter says, if Shelton Benjamin comes back, what kind of role would you like him to have on SmackDown?
Wrestler.
Mid-card, main event. Want to give us any more?
He's not a main event guy. His promos aren't good enough. His ring work is, but no, I mean he's the kind of guy who you'd put him against AJ on SmackDown if you want a great match, or you'd put him in a top feud with somebody, but he's not a main event guy.
He's meant to be going in a stable with the shooters, aren't they?
That'd be great. That'd be great.
Was
Any-
Ziggler,
I don't know
Ziggler,
what
Ziggler
they're
and
called the
Swagger.
shooters, man. But
That'll be the
Ziggler
taunt.
and Swagger.
That's the trio, rumour trio, isn't it?
A fool as wants to know, what do you think about the rumours that with Elimination Chamber coming back next February, that SmackDown might have a world title or #1 contenders Elimination Chamber match? Do you like the concept of the chamber?
Oh yeah, should never have been canned. Fastlane's crap.
Fastlane's still happening.
They're doing both.
Oh, they're doing both. Oh, of course they will be.
So we don't know what we're going to end up with.
Fastlane,
We might get
Fastlane will
Fastlane.
be Raw. Maybe.
Maybe.
Whoever doesn't win the Rumble, I assume the other brand gets Elimination Chamber.
I mean, it's going to kill the Rumble if they announce that in advance, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you know which side it's going to be from.
Indeed, indeed. What else do we have here? Callum Owen wants to know, do either of you think that James Ellsworth should be signed to a full-time WWE contract? No. For the people who are listening to this and not watching it, you're just
Oh, this is a podcast.
shaking your head.
No, I don't.
100%. Of course he should. Why not? Why not? Curtis Hawkins or whatever we call him.
Kurt
these days.
Hawkins.
Curtis.
Yeah,
Kurt-
but
Kurt,
he
well,
can.
who cares?
He
Who
can
is he?
wrestle, can't he?
Not really. I mean, James Ellsworth is more over than he'll ever be.
Over, but you know,
Right,
you
well,
need
then sign
roles
him.
to fill on the roster, don't you? You need dependable hands to be there. Ellsworth should be dead.
What?
AJ Styles saved his life 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
with
well,
Styles
that is
clash.
true.
Ellsworth
That is
should
true.
be dead.
He should be.
Well, he couldn't took his chin because he doesn't have one.
Oh, you JBL level, you.
Hey!
Let's finish it with Alex Hunt with a good question. Let's go round the table, the square table, obviously, because that's what we do here. Alex Hunt wants to know, who will win the 2017 Royal Rumble? Dixon, who is your prediction at this juncture?
Roman Reigns.
It's terrifying.
Because the last few years have been so predictable, I've nearly cried. Finn Balor will win the Royal Rumble because it's so f***ing predictable. I've just sworn, good luck editing that, Pacitti. He's going to miss it, isn't he?
Yep.
Anyway, aye.
However,
He won't even be back, though.
is it obvious that Balor? Because I don't. Is he even going to be back by the time the Rumble's around?
It's 6 to 9 months, isn't it? That's why they give you that
Yeah,
bracket.
but that would be the-
SummerSlam was August.
Yeah.
September, October,
There we
November,
go.
December. Oh, shit. I've sworn again.
It's all falling apart here, folks.
Have you got
It's-
another prediction for the Royal Rumble now that we've outed your first prediction?
I mean, Rollins would be a good one if he's not champion.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who I think is going to be the winner of the Royal Rumble, John Cena, to go on to WrestleMania to try and win his 16th championship from AJ Styles. And trust me, over the years I've been the guy that does not want John Cena in big match situations, but this is the time for John Cena to go 16.
Cena's great, absolutely.
It's his
WrestleMania.
time
gonna happen.
now.
Oh, very good.
I like it. I see what you did
That's
there.
why I'm here.
Okay, thank you very much for watching or listening to the SmackDown Live pre-show podcast. We will be back next week with the same again. Tweet us and let us know if you want us to change the format, do anything else. We'll answer your questions again next week. We'll see what happens with Dean Ambrose and AJ Styles tonight, Kane and Bray Wyatt, the return of Becky Lynch.
Do we have to stay up and watch all this?
I do.
I think no, I don't think we have to. We can watch it
That's a
tomorrow.
point.
Yeah.
What Culture Extra, $6.99 a month live stream with me and Adam Parmesan. Worth every penny.
There you go. Apparently, you might have a third person join you soon, but that's to be determined.
Is he Scottish?
I don't know. Money. Anyway, Mr. Dixon, can anybody find you on Twitter?
No.
HOW Wrestling. Ross, can anybody find you on Twitter?
At Ross on Wrestling. That is wrestling with an R.
Kenny MC 1985. Thank you very much for watching and listening. We appreciate you. And if you want to comment saying where are the Adams, don't be stupid. They're not here. Thank you. Goodbye.